time being 6:30, we'll call the school committee meeting of April 26 to order. First on our agenda is our Grade 4 National Young Scholar nominees from Chaffey. Mrs. Fournier, would you mind coming up and taking the lead? Just be sure if you can speak into the mic so everybody at home could hear and we can introduce everyone.
First of all, just give a little background. The award, students are nominated to National Young Scholars based on achieving an advanced score on the MCAS last year, and also for exhibiting leadership qualities. So it is with great pride that I award these students. I do have to share, though, when the students were called to my office, of course, they come down and they're shaking and wondering why they're all there. And when they came in and I sat them down, I could hardly contain their smiles and their pride in themselves. So it was a real honor to do that, and it carried over when they returned to their classrooms. I had teachers calling down saying, "I don't know what you just returned." So, am I touching it? Oh,
Yep.
okay. Sorry. So I'll first introduce Carly Boudreau. Carly would come up, please. Althea Houston. John Massey. George Murray. And Candace Nelson. Is she here this evening? I think she had a softball game, so we weren't sure if she was going to make it. But once again, congratulations to all the National Young Scholars.
Well, that was wonderful. Did everybody get a picture? Can all of you come up and stand right in front all together, and maybe if the parents want to take a picture, and we'll get you all together on TV? Because you need more than 2 seconds of fame, my friends. Come right up in front of the table, right there, that table. Yep. Yep,
Your
together.
awards in
Yep.
front.
Yep, and come this way. Parents, do you want to come in front and take the picture? Yeah. You can come this way, that's fine. Absolutely.
Smile pretty for the TV, though.
Yes. Yep, the TV's getting you
You're
too,
all
don't
on
worry.
television.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Got him? Very good. Thank you. Very good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And continuing with our presentation of success, we are going to be talking tonight about Haiti and the community service that the Oxford Public School system does. And we are going to start off first if Mr. Yvonne, I think you have a couple of introductions perhaps.
And actually, I'd like to invite them to come up and join me at the
Please.
table. You can take the good chairs. I have with me Master Matthew Raymond and Master Nathan Lebrecht, both third graders at Clara Barton School, representing an entire school community of a little over 380 children. Shortly after the earthquakes in Haiti, we had children from kindergarten through fourth grade coming up to their teachers, to Mrs. Forty, our guidance counselor, to me asking if we could do something to help. Just that in and of itself made me feel great. It told me that the work that we've been doing over the past few years with our CARO program, Children Are Reaching Out, and efforts that are made for the classroom to show our students that they can make a difference both in their school community and outside of their school community, were sinking in because the children knew they could do something. So we decided to keep it simple. Simon, use the KISS principle, as my father had told me, and we sent a notice home simply asking folks if they wanted to donate, that we'd be happy to collect that and send that donation off to an organization founded by our school's namesake, Clara Barton, the American Red Cross. And we ended up collecting $1,507.21 for Haiti relief in that short week. And as part of that week, I think, do we have a hat day, guys? Yeah. And on Friday, we encouraged people to wear blue and red, the two major colors in the Haitian flag. Matthew and Nathan have a classmate who has family in Haiti, and their class wanted to do something in particular. Do you guys want to talk about what your class did?
We collected clothes for Haiti.
Nice and loud.
We collected clothes for Haiti.
Very nice.
So in addition to our monetary contribution, the clothing that was collected by the students in their classroom were sent off to actually that family in particular. And so we knew we helped someone whom we knew and touched someone whose family we were connected with, as well as families that were connected with them. Their family distributed the clothing to help us out. So we're very proud of our students. I'm very proud of these two young gentlemen for representing the school and for doing an outstanding job in their classroom and collecting the clothing to help us out. And I also want to thank Mrs. Forty, our guidance counselor. She is here. Stand up so people can see you on TV. She's coordinated our collection efforts as well as our Carol program and many of the efforts that we've done to reach out both within Oxford and beyond.
That is tremendous. Thank you very much.
Wonderful job.
Well, good things definitely are here. And continuing on, Mrs. Hackett, can I have you do some presentations from the middle school so people know what we did at the middle school? And Mr. Milner?
Thank you, Mrs. DeWitzik. We also did a project to support and do whatever we could to help the people in Haiti immediately after the earthquake struck. Actually, two young ladies from the 6th grade approached me and asked if we could have a meeting in the conference room. And they put forth their proposal to do what they could to raise money. At the time, we had no idea how much money little children could actually raise. And it was Molly Ennis and Sarah Cohane who first brought forth the idea. And then their ideas grew. We had lunch meetings, and I would go with my lunch to the cafeteria and eat with them as our plans started to materialize and grow. Initially, our plan was to make and for donation, give out red and blue ribbons, the main colors of the Haitian flag. And we bought, I think, every piece of blue and red ribbon we could find in Worcester County. We had been to every store and bought out what every one of them had. We worked every day after school to cut and make the ribbons. And on Saturday as well, they gave up a Saturday morning to also make the project a success. We did a 50-50 raffle. We did a hat day. We did donations just in kind for the generosity through homerooms. We partnered with one of the local banks who helped us to raise awareness as well as cash and with the ribbons. And parents helped by bringing ribbons to work and accepting donations. And when all was totaled up, we donated just a little over $3,500 to the American Red Cross from Oxford Middle School. And none of this would have been possible without these lovely young 6th graders that I would like to have come in as I call their name. We can take pictures up in front, if that's okay. First, Sarah Cohane. And then just stand over to the side so we can do a group photo. Molly Ennis. Brooklyn Downing.
That was all right.
Jessica Dory. Macy Melendi. Mitchell Lewis. And Amy Rose Brooks.
Congratulations. Now, can anyone, do you have something, some of you I heard maybe have something to say about your project? Yes? Okay, you know, you come right on the end. Mrs. Hackett will hold you the mic and you can go that way because I want to hear and everybody to see you. And you all did such a great job, my goodness.
Hi, my name is Molly. On behalf of the Haiti Helpers, I would like to thank you for inviting us to your meeting. I'm very proud of my friends and of the Oxford Middle School students for their support for the fundraiser. And a special thanks to our principal, Mrs. Hackett, not just for helping us along the way, but for the great snacks she gave us while we were making our ribbons.
Very nice. You all deserve congratulations, Clark. Did any of the parents want to take pictures of them also? Absolutely.
Amy has one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We'll give one more speech. We have one more, and then we have picture taking. Please. Oh, and another one. That's fine. We've got all the time.
Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Amy.
As we all know, there was an earthquake in Haiti. Many people were killed, left homeless, and experienced loss of a loved one, be it a family member or friend. People tried to escape to our country, but instead died along their brave journey. Now, thanks to schools, towns, businesses, and the American Red Cross, Haiti is coming back alive from when it was dead. Thank you to all the parents, students, and school principals who helped Haiti. Haiti is now beginning a new chapter in its life. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And we have one more.
Hello, I am Macy Melendi. I am a Haiti helper myself. Me and my friends really enjoyed helping Haiti. It wasn't only for the money, it was to save lives of children and adults in Haiti. Thank you for helping us help Haiti.
Thank you. Very nice. Now, if you would all hold up your plaques, and parents, please feel free to come right in and grab those great pictures. Look at everybody's going, which way, yeah.
Very shy. And I'm sure, Mrs. Hackett, those were healthy snacks you gave them too, right?
Yeah.
From our
Yeah.
new list.
Good job. We're very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
They did an outstanding job. For even adults to raise $3,500 in a short period of time would have been phenomenal. But for young students, it just was amazing. Every day when we would count and roll coins, we could not believe the generosity of our students and parents. So thank you to everyone for making it such a success, and especially to this group of children.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yep. And next, going right up our ladder, is our high school. And our high school also did community service for Haiti. So I'm going to introduce Nikki St. Jean, our student rep. And I think you have some students here. Come on down, guys.
Yeah.
And I will let you, if you would, introduce them. And please speak on your school's behalf. Come on down. These are our high school students.
Okay, we have junior Mackenzie Boyne, who is secretary of the student council, sophomore Jenna Mandela, who is treasurer of the student council, and sophomore Mark Kravosky, who is chief justice of the student council.
Our whole school put together fundraisers to raise money for Haiti, and one of them was a volleyball tournament where our whole school could sign up and play volleyball, and all the money that was raised was sent to Haiti, and we raised $358.
Very good.
We also have our school military ball, and at that we put out a can where to raise money for Haiti, and we raised $300 from that.
Very good.
In our whole school, we did links for Haiti, where each student could pay $1 for a link to raise all the money for Haiti. And I don't even, how much did we raise for?
$1,600.
$1,600.
Wow.
Great.
Altogether, we raised about $2,300.
$2,300 from the high school. That is marvelous. Very good. Thank you. Yes, thank you too. We certainly have some great kids. Next on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of March 22nd. Do you have any comments, corrections? None. Do I have a motion to accept?
Move to accept as printed.
Second.
Second. Can I call for the vote?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And I will vote yes, 4 affirmative, 1 absent. They are passed. Thank you. Unfinished business. Tonight, we're going to just finish up talking about our NEASC and what's going to happen on the dates. Mr. Himmelberger, would you have some of that information from us?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to let everyone know that the NEASC visiting committee will be here this coming Sunday, May 2nd, and there is a kickoff meeting at 1:30 at the high school auditorium. And townspeople are invited, as well as elected officials. Obviously, I will be there, and I'm sure most of the school committee as well. And the visiting committee then interviews a lot of the faculty. They interview students. They travel and shadow students Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and they complete their visit. A lot of the work, a lot of the hard work has been done over the last 2 years with the students and especially the faculty working on a self-study. That really, the findings are about in a book this thick, which the visiting committee will then digest along with their visit and then complete a report. They deliver a preliminary report, I believe, in the first 30 days, and then come back with their full recommendations at the end of the summer. And hopefully, we all get good news about the accreditation of Oxford High School. And it's a process that we go through every 10 years. So we are looking forward to the visit by the accreditation team, and we look forward to a terrific week and some excellent results.
Any comments, concerns from the board? Questions? None being. Next, we have the approval of the 2010-2011 school budget. I believe you have a handout. Mr. Matthew, you want to handle that, or or Mr. Himmelberger, which either?
I'll give it a shot, and I'm sure Mr. Matthew, I told him he could jump in if I start to
Kick
get
him
off
under.
track.
Yeah, kick him under
because I made a joke that when I was the business manager, no one really liked to go through the House deliberations as much as me and take home oodles of paperwork. I have found someone that likes all that minutia even more, and it pays off, believe me. Before you should have a handout from Mr. Matthew that we put together today because, as you have probably seen, the last couple of weeks, there has been a lot of budget activity at the state level. And on Wednesday, April 14th, the House Ways and Means Committee came out with a revised budget from the governor's budget, and that budget is now being deliberated starting today. Then it will go to full House, then it goes to Senate, goes into joint committee, comes back out for joint resolution, and then a signature by the governor. So we still are probably in the fourth inning of a 9-inning game when it comes to going through all of the budget deliberations. Complicating that deliberation process at the state level is still a very large question mark about what the state's revenues have been and will be for this year. And typically, April is when we have the biggest receipts because of income tax payments. And this year, with the counties being able to, if you were part of the flood counties, you have until May 11th. So now the state really won't get their full metrics to gauge revenue until April and May's numbers come in. So it's not an easy process from the state's point of view, which makes it for the legislature that much tougher to deliberate. The bottom line from that House Ways and Means recommendation was a 4% cut to Chapter 70. What they opted, what the House Ways and Means recommended and opted to do was to offer the shortfall to be made up with some state fiscal stabilization funds from the ARA grant of 2009. Now, they don't have the authorization, as Mr. Matthew points out, to do that. That's only the governor that can expend those funds. So obviously, there's a bit of a chess game going on between the different branches of our state government in terms of how we're going to meet the diverse needs of increased demand with decreasing and declining revenues. So we have looked at this, and this, if you remember, this follows similar deliberations of a year ago when we relied upon stimulus dollars to make up our difference, $390,414. That was state fiscal stabilization funds that were then applied to us after we went through the grant process. It was not as easy as it sounds, and so the town was able to then decrease our budget by that amount. And again, what you see here from the far right column is the FY11 recommendation, which we received from the town manager today, of $13,930,875. Now, there are two numbers below that. The first one is a potential transfer from the health insurance account if the majority of the unions in town go along with an increase in the copays, both for regular visits, emergency room, and tiered prescription copays. And if we do that as a town, that will provide not only savings to the average employee, because the premiums will not go up by nearly as much because of that increased copay, as well as the fact that that monies, that increase, will then could be transferred to the school budget at the fall town meeting. So that $159,499 represents that amount that is, I guess the word is promised by the town, if in fact we do join that copay increase. And then, of course, the last section there, that 183,701, is the state fiscal stabilization funds, which is in, that dollar amount is somewhat in limbo. We think it's going to be there. We're not sure out of which pocket it's going to be given to us. And all sides are very careful to say it is an estimate of appropriations so that no one can be pinned down at this point as to whose pocket that money is going to come from. So if everything goes according to the way Mr. Matthew drew it up on this paper, then
Just threw you right under the
we
bus.
are in great shape because we can survive, and I use that term, survive, another year. We don't have to go into painful cuts. We don't have to dismantle parts of our programming, and we can survive for another year. Obviously, if one or both of these other numbers does not come to fruition, then it would be back to the drawing board to find the least harmful cuts in our budget. And that, I think, and I'll let Mr. Matthews speak to that as well, but I think it's important to point out to all watching that, contrary to some folks' opinion, there is no padding in this school budget that we brought to you in January and that you approved preliminarily back in the spring, early spring. That money's, if you look at the salaries, the special education tuitions, and the utilities, there's not a lot beyond that in terms of maintaining the buildings both on the inside and on the exterior, the cost of instructional materials, maintaining our technology. All of those pieces of the budget are really not well addressed. But because we know it is difficult times, we constructed what we thought was the fairest, both for our taxpayers and our town, but especially for our students. And so I think it's important to know that that 14,274,075, which is really the number that we have to hit in order to preserve the programming that we have achieved so far, and to maintain what we have, does not cover anything over and above that, because we do know it is a difficult revenue year. It's a difficult year to predict what the revenues are going to be to match expenditures. And we have seen over the last several cycles where the governor has to come in and do 9C cuts, which are really the worst, one of the worst ways to budget, because then you're forced to make very, very difficult choices after you're already into your budget year. And that is something that we really don't want to get to. So I believe this represents a fair but conservative approach to what the department really needs to operate in a very difficult environment. And I'm not sure, Mr. Matthew, if you want to add anything that I might have left out.
I think the superintendent is absolutely correct in saying that the 14.2 and some change is really where we need to be to keep our heads just above water. You know, we're not looking at introducing new programs. We're not looking at hiring a number of new staff for next year. We need to get through another year. Hope that fiscal 12 is going to be better, even though the signs right now don't necessarily indicate that. But if it's a matter of treading water for a couple of years, we can do that as long as we get the funding to tread water. If we have to start going backwards, there are going to be some very painful decisions and discussions that will occur.
Comments, concerns, Mrs. Ennis?
I have a pretty significant concern, I think, with regard to this budget that I've mentioned both to our superintendent and to the chair, that we didn't even present to the Board of Selectmen. And I don't know what caused that to not come to be. I would like an explanation of why we were not invited as we have been in the past. Given the financial climate we are in, I can't even understand why it was not even for consideration. So if they don't have questions in regard to our budget, us being the largest budget in the community, I'm baffled by that. I am baffled that they haven't extended the hand to us as they have in the past to have us come in. I think I also understand they don't even have copies of our budget. Am I correct with that? Or were the copies sent over of our budget?
No, the board, as well as the finance committee, does have copies of our budget.
I know the finance,
yes.
because we brought them, you
And
had them
the Board
for
of
them,
Selectmen does as
and
well.
they do,
Yeah.
okay, all right, I corrected, thank you. But I would like explanation from our town manager or Madam Chair of the Board of Selectmen as why you were not allowed or invited to present as long as I've been on this committee. The superintendent has always made presentation to the Board of Selectmen so that we could have that, what I always thought of it was a working meeting. Questions were answered, concerns on both sides, an understanding of where we were at. I don't get it, and it bothers me. I'm concerned about it. And I am asking through the chair for the superintendent to either contact our town manager or Madam Chair of the BOS and ask them what is going on and why you were not invited, and nor this committee invited to come before them.
Anyone else? Mr. Himmelberger, please.
Madam Chair, to Mrs. Ennis's comments, I simply wanted to state that both Mr. Matthew and I, on several occasions, let the town manager know that we would be available for the BOS meeting last Tuesday, because we felt it was important to not only explain our budget in more detail, but to ask and be there to answer any questions that the selectmen may have wanted to ask. It was as I understand it from the town manager, it was the Board of Selectmen who chose not to have us appear before them. And I am not quite sure, having not spoken to any of the board, as to why they did not want or felt that they didn't need to have us appear, but we certainly made ourselves available. So, you know, it was a bit frustrating, certainly from our point of view as well.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Peterson?
Not to that issue. I still have a question on the $159,499 for the medical situation. Mr. Matthew, did you establish that figure, or did that come from Mr. Zaneski?
That's the difference between the cost of the health plans based on the first scenario, which would be the co-pays as exist right now, and the co-pays being increased slightly with the modified plan.
I understand the general terminology you're using, but I want to know the specifics. Is that all-inclusive, all school employees, union contractual and non-contractual, or is that just the non-contractual that we anticipate increasing the cost before any other negotiations are done? Is this the total school number?
It's the total of the difference. It's certainly not the total of the health insurance expenditure.
No, I understand that. But what I'm getting at is the total of the difference for all employees inclusive.
All school employees, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else?
So, I'm sorry,
Yep.
may I?
Absolutely, go ahead.
It could be a lesser difference if contractual or unions do not agree to it with us, is that right?
Well, my understanding is that it's an all or nothing. The entire town will switch to.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, just so this board understands that. If they don't agree to it, it's all or nothing, so everybody has to agree to the whole thing, including us, with the community. It has to be 100% community-wide for this to take effect.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you.
To Mrs. Ennis, I totally agree. I think communication is always necessary on all the boards. I would hope that we have come a long way in the 5 years that we could all sit around and talk about things like this. I think it's important, especially when we get into hard times, that we all know what each other needs and is doing, and we can ask questions. If we don't meet, then there's always a little bit of communication problem, and he said, she said, and I'm sure neither board wants to read what the other one said in the Telegram and Gazette. I think it's just not a way to get our information across. I think it's much pleasanter and nicer if we sit in a room and talk and we understand each other. That being said, I'm sure we can do a better job on both sides and educate each other in what each department needs and wants. So I would hope that would continue on as it has in the past few years that I've been on. As far as the budget is concerned, I think we all know it's not fluff. I think I've said it to everybody. Everybody here knows that when we first came on 5 years ago, myself and I think Mrs. Coonan, you weren't here, but I'm sure you remember, we sat in this room for a few hours and dissected, is the only word I can use, the budget, line by line by line. I mean, we were taking out, we asked what every line, we were taking $700 off the table. I mean, we were just cutting everything to get $70,000, $80,000. So I think there's nothing that we haven't turned over to see what's in the budget. So what we have here is just the bare bones. It's a foundation. And it can't go any farther down, or the foundation won't hold anything. So I think as the townspeople and as a parent, as a school committee member, I certainly want to support what our children need. They do a great job at what we give them, and we don't give them a lot of fluff. If you look at a lot of the other schools around and you look at the numbers that they talk about, they're not talking 13 and 14. I mean, you pick up the paper, they're talking 19 and 22, and they're crying. I know that it's different in each school, but I think we're doing the best we can, and we're mindful of the town's money situation and townspeople. We're all taxpayers. My question is to Mr. Himmelberg and Ms. Matthew, what number are you recommending that we vote on our budget? Is it the 13.9 or is it the 14.2? Because if we vote the 13.9 and the two ifs don't happen, we're in deep trouble. So do we vote the 13.9 or do we do the 14.2?
I'm going to just take a quick answer to that, and that is based upon what we know today, the recommendation would be to vote the $13,930,875 amount, because that is what is being based on revenue that will show on the current cherry sheet. Now, the other two items, we have it on good authority from the town's financial team that certainly if the majority of the employees vote to accept the copay increases, then that monies would be available and authorized for transfer at the fall town meeting. And the second number, the 183,701, will be available in some form. We just don't know what form that is right now, whether it's going to be re-added back in to Chapter 70 by some budget deliberation down the road, or if it will be still covered from really what was higher ed stabilization money that the state now has offered, or the House Ways and Means has offered as a way to fill in the gap, because Chapter 70 by law is the primary funding source for public education in the state of Massachusetts. So in terms of, from the town's perspective for May 5th's annual town meeting, the $13,930,875 figure is what will appear, and that is what is available from what the town and from what we know now, because we're still partway through the budget cycle.
Mr. Peterson?
I would disagree with that, Mr. Himmelberger, on the assessment of that. I think you need to vote the 14-2. Either way, which Mrs. Stewidzik said, 13-9, if we're decimated and have to remove the 200 or 300 some thousand, it's going to hurt us either which way. But if you accept the 13-9, I believe you're going to have to go for a further meeting at a later date or toward October to approve the transfer. This way, if the 14-2 is accepted and the money is there, we don't have to monkey around with any other meetings. If it's not there, it can simply be removed, and we would have to make our budgetary adjustment at that time. So I would like clarification on that from the town before. I believe I would prefer, and I think from my previous financial experience with the Finance Committee and the board here, that you should accept the 14-2. That's our rock bottom, and that is basically what he's come across from the town hall with us for at this point in time.
Yes, Ms. Matthew?
Perhaps it can, the 14,274 could be voted as is contingent upon.
That's the way it should be, yes.
The acceptance of the copay modifications.
And that's what I would move, sir.
Okay, so we have a motion to choose the 14,274,075 with the contingents of the potential transfer of health insurance and the potential grant, Chapter 70. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second. Call for the vote. Mrs. Ennis?
I'm going to say no.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
I'm gonna vote yes, because I'm assuming that is the way we're going to do it. And if there's anything, we can bring it back just before the town meeting if we get clarity on something. But I'm going to vote, since that is the rock bottom number that we have to exist with what we have. I've got 3 yes, 1 no, and 1 abstention. Mr. Peterson?
As always, if the money's not there, you have to adjust your budget, and that could be the case down the road, so it's, and we will have to take those off.
Yep, It's a sad day when that comes.
Yes, it is,
Mrs. Ennis?
unfortunately.
I think that I'm going to clarify why I voted no, just for the record. I think, for me, it's because I don't think we have the communication that we need to go forward with that $14 million figure. So until I have further communication or something in writing, that is why I voted against the $14 million figure.
Okay, Mr. Peterson?
Might I suggest, Brenda, I normally agree along those lines. Might I suggest that we always do, and we should schedule a meeting before the town meeting.
Yep.
And if we have further clarifications and that not be the case, we can adjust it then and re-vote it.
That's right.
I think we have
agree,
done
yeah.
that in the past. We've gone right
We
down to
we
the
have,
wire.
but I'm just reminding you of that, and
Yep.
and I would make sure that you post the meeting, ma'am,
Yes?
before the town meeting, and
It's
then we
already
move
posted.
accordingly at that point in time if we have to take any further action.
Yeah, I would agree. I hope that helped. It is a very hard decision. I know all of you. I think the vote perhaps is what we need. And we will have to do what we have to do. If it's not there, we have to do. But I think if we're voting what our budget need is, that we have been able to support our children and
And that's way
live
below
with them.
needed, but
Yeah.
we'll have to
Bare bones.
survive with
Bare
that,
bones.
yes.
Mrs. Ennis?
And the other, just for the record also, I think that whoever's listening to these meetings, I think that it has to be understood that this community is not on its own with any of these issues. You can look in the paper and every community surrounding us and beyond within the Commonwealth, I don't care how large their tax rate is, they are getting hit with the loss of sports, loss of teachers,
Buses.
pink slips going out, buses. So, in saying that, I will, in saying for the town of Oxford, that what you have before you with this committee, with the superintendent, our business manager, I think that this community should be feel very fortunate that they have a body like ours that works so diligently together to make sure that we can at least get to that head above water state. It is unfortunate. I think that public education in this country has taken a hit. Within this Commonwealth, it is struggling. So, in saying that, I think that we are doing everything we can. And if the time ever does come that we need to go line by line again and sit here for 4 hours as we did that night, I'd do it again. Because $700, $800, $1,500, pulling that kind of money out of a budget so that the students in this town get an education that we can give them, even though it's lacking, is something that we have to do. It's the sign of the times. It is what it is, even though I hate that term. But working together is the only way to get through this. It's the only way to do it, the only way. So that's all I have on it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Moving on. Figures down. At this time, I'm going to ask our student rep to lighten the mood, give us something again to be proud of, and Nikki, if you would
I have a
let us
lot,
know.
so-
Oh,
all right.
terrific! Let us know what's going on at the high school.
Okay, so tomorrow night we're having our National Honor Society induction. We are inducting 18 new members, and I have a list of them, so I'll name them off if that's okay.
Please.
Okay, we have Junior Sean Nystrom, Junior Corey Levitt, Junior Heather Demers, Sophomore Samesh Patel, Junior Melissa McNichols, Sophomore Cassandra Pastier, Sophomore Connor Pappas, Sophomore Courtney Boudre, Sophomore Laura Cleary, Sophomore Lauren Pushies, Sophomore Kayla McCarthy, Sophomore Jordan Arell, Sophomore Devin Boudreau, Sophomore Laura Holmes, Sophomore Catherine Shaw, Sophomore Emily Barton, Sophomore Nicole Mangadas, and Sophomore Manjushri Burdikar.
Very nice.
And also, this is like the last NHS thing for the seniors, so do you want me to name them off too?
Please,
Okay.
give them their due.
All right, we have Senior President is Nicole Holmberg. Senior Vice President is Matt Thompson. Senior Secretary is Tara Jarobsky. Senior Treasurer is Catherine Lavoie. Senior Parliamentarian is Laurel Pitko. And Senior Historian is Crystal Shanthavong. And members are Marie Aka, Morgan Boyne, Mohammed Shudri, Chelsea Dickout, Kevin Donovan, Justina Dubsky, Jenna Freeland, Kelly Kirkland, Eric Nutelski, Allison LaForce, Heather LaMarche, Alexandra Litwack, Jane Parker, Neil Riley, Teresa Rivera, Jessica Rodier, Jeffrey Stanmeyer, Chelsea White, Danielle White, and Josh Woods. And there's some juniors in between there, but we'll read their names off next year.
They have one more year.
Right. This weekend, several students from the Student Council are participating in the Walk for Hunger in Boston on Sunday. It starts at 11 a.m. and there's, I think, probably around 15 or 20 students from the Student Council that are attending. The rest will be here at the NEASC Day. So, also coming up for Student Council is the Dinner Theater, which will be taking place next Tuesday, May 4th, here in the OHS Auditorium. The show starts at 6, and then dinner will be served afterwards. And tickets are $10, and they are being sold in the main office right now. And actors in the play include senior Morgan Boyne, senior Sarah Gutierrez, senior Nicole Holmberg, senior Matt Thompson, junior Anthony Vo, junior Tyler Downing, sophomore Linda Trong, sophomore Jordan Orell, and freshman Jenna Bird. Also from the Student Council, we have the Senior Citizen Dinner that we have every year. And this year it will take place on May 12th in the cafeteria, and the theme this year is Mardi Gras. For sports, baseball, their record is 5-6. They had 3 games over vacation, and they won all 3. They played Nipmuc, Grafton, and Blackstone Millville, and they played South today and lost 4-2. For softball, they also played those 3 teams, Nipmuc, Grafton, and Blackstone Millville, last week, and their record now is 4-7. And for track, the girls' track team is 2-3, and Emily Dwidzik broke a new school record last week, which I heard today from her is her 4th one that she's broken, so congratulations to her. And Jordan Orell has broken her personal best in the 200 meter, and also Emily said that a lot of girls are breaking their personal bests, which means you break your own record. Learned something new today. For the boys team, they are undefeated, 5-0. Ethan Doyne and Neil Riley have made it to the state competition, which is a big thing. They made it last year as well. Both of them are in indoor, I think. Not. I think it's indoor. Aaron Holmberg broke his personal best in the 800 meter, and Ryan Belcito beat his personal best in the mile. The Child Safety Awareness Fair that the NHS and Life Skills program held this Saturday went great. We had a lot of kids show up. We had several different stations that they went to. We did the handprint murals again. We did the little finger pictures on their hands again. There was a lollipop tree, and then Mrs. Patricia Ross, who works in the Project Success Department, she took the headshots, and Officer Picard from the police department, he did the actual fingerprinting, and it went over great. It was good. There were a lot of kids that showed up and a lot of parents, so now their kids will be safer, which is good. As Mr. Himmelberger said, NEASC is approaching fast. This Sunday, from a student point of view, students have to make presentations on Sunday, and then students will be followed and shadowed and interviewed and all that stuff. But for the presentations on Sunday, we have Neil Riley and Tara Dropsky, who are both seniors. They're talking about sports. And senior Chelsea White and senior Morgan Boyne are talking about extracurricular activities. And senior Matt Thompson and myself are talking about the academics, and we each have to have a 5 or 6 minute presentation where we'll explain elaborately on our topic and inform them of what's going on here. Also this weekend on Saturday, several students in the junior class will be taking the SATs. Through talking to many juniors, they're taking most of them at Shepherd Hill. I know a lot of people that are, so hopefully we'll all do good on those ones. Also coming up this week, we have a regional state advisory council, which is 2 student council members are chosen to go. There is a meeting every month, and they're chosen as representatives, and they do it for the entire year until 2 new people are reelected or what have you. I mean, we haven't had an election. We just had 2 people offer to do it, and then they go. Last year, we had Morgan Boyne and Nina Trong, and they actually served on the state student advisory council too. And this year, myself and Brittany Galat, who's also a junior, will be traveling to Asbit on Wednesday for our first meeting, and then we'll do that once a month for the next year. This Friday, we have our Best Buddy movie night, where the Best Buddy group will be traveling up to see a movie at Blackstone, which is always exciting. Such a fun time. For the NJROTC, I have a lot, so I went down and talked to him, and he gave me the full array of everything going on, which is good. I mean, that's great. Okay, so.
He's very thorough, isn't he?
Yes, which is good. I like that. I like someone that just hands me what they need me to say. Great. As well as all the other groups, Student Council, NHS, the ROTC unit is working diligently hard for the NEASC coming, and they get their own thing. They have to be seen, and the NEASC people will go in there too. Also, their unit won the Drill League for the 6th year in a row, and they participate in 2 out of the 3 divisions, and he said it's very unique to win it 6 years in a row. And junior Brittany Galat has been chosen to go to Leadership Academy in Newport, Rhode Island, where she will be a cadet aide, which is like a mini teacher. She'll be in charge of a platoon of 46 kids that go to the academy, and she'll have a male with her and an instructor. But it's a big thing. She went last year, I think, but he told me this is like the best of the best that she's been chosen to do this. So that's really good. So congratulations to her. The unit also had a successful end of the year inspection, and Commander Maisley thinks everything went great and well. And the ROTC unit provided color guard for the Little League Parade and opening day ceremony last Sunday. And they will also be doing color guard tomorrow at the NHS induction. And as of April 16th, they have collectively 2,500 hours of community service over their 52 students in the unit, which is very good. So kudos to the ROTC unit for that. And their end of the year report has been finished, which is used to see if they got a distinguished unit. And it was 90 pages long, including all of their budget and everything that they've done for the whole year. And last week, 3 members of the ROTC unit, Catherine Shaw, Angela Richardson, and Jackie Green, who I believe are all sophomores, helped an elderly woman with a heart problem clean up her yard last week. So very nice, girls. That's very good. Also, junior Megan Coonan has been chosen to attend the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Leadership Camp in Daytona Beach, Florida, from June 13th to 20th, all expenses paid. And Megan has been the 2nd student from Oxford to be chosen to attend this camp. Last year, Brittany Galat went as a sophomore.
Wow.
And that's it.
Daytona Beach.
Nice. Thank you very much. That's lots of stuff. Yes, she did a
Thank
great
you.
job, as always.
Very good.
Thank you, Nikki. From the superintendent schools, anything tonight, Mr. Himmelberger?
Having to follow
Nikki, all the time. How that's not good.
Ms. St. Jean, I'll make it very brief. And I just wanted to say thank you to our co-chairs of the NEASC committee, Mrs. Kathy Cassavant and Mrs. Deb Semenek, who have put in tremendous hours to get Oxford High School prepared for this. And the faculty has worked diligently over 2 years to compile this self-study. And again, thank you to Mr. Nugent and Mr. Wells, because it has truly been a team effort, and I believe that everyone is looking forward to the visit next week. So thank you to all. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews, anything else tonight?
Well, quickly, there were 2 memos in your packet. One was an update on the revolving funds that Mrs. Ennis had asked for at the last meeting. I don't know if anybody has any questions on those. I chose the larger ones rather than the smaller donation accounts that have little activity and small balances. The second memo that was in your packet was about the health insurance that we had discussed earlier. And I think it would be appropriate, if school committee, if so chose, to vote to accept and support these changes to the co-pays. Not only because there's a direct impact on our budget, but because this is one of the things that you have to do in the multi-stretch of years that we have in terms of financial difficulty. You know, you have to lower your biggest exposure, and that's health insurance.
And that's done contractually, that's what you mean, by voting?
Well,
To support?
we're going to have to approach each of our
Yeah.
unions.
So we don't have
and
to.
actually, no, it's really an endorsement if more than anything else. Thank you.
Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Mr. Peterson?
Are you going to take a vote on that? I would move that we vote to proceed with this and let them work with the town on the insurance end of it. I think it needs our affirmation from the school side. I think if you read the bottom of the letter, we do need to vote on it.
Would you like to make a motion
So
to accept?
moved.
Okay,
I never like to vote to make cuts,
I
but
know.
this is less
The
painful
support.
than the cut that
This
I
is
had with the state
supportful.
with insurance. This is a support of the town to control our expenses is all we're doing at this point. Yes, there will be co-pay increases, et cetera, but there's unfortunately nothing we can do at this point in time.
Okay, we have a motion to support the changes. Any second?
I'll second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
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 Yes, 4 affirmative, 1 absent. Now, Mr. Peterson, would you like to go?
I have one thing tonight, and it was a very enjoyable Sunday. I participated in the Little League Parade and then went to the opening. And it was really good to hear that the school department and the Little League and the other town organizations, Lassie League, are working together. This year we had enormous problems with flooding all over, not only the Little League, but our own fields, and the drainage that I had been asking for the softball field, I believe, is complete now, Mr. Matthew?
That's my understanding, yes.
My understanding is I've been out there a couple of times, and it looks like it seems to be working finally. And Steve, from the Little League, I would like to thank you for all your efforts. And Athletic Director John Del Dorian have worked vigorously together this spring, adjusting both their schedules and our schedules to accommodate the water problem. And from my understanding, that the high school will have a couple nights under the lights now because the Little Leagues had to use our fields up here. So once the lights are finally turned on at Greenbrier, we'll have some other activity down there during the summer months, okay? My hat's off to all of them. God smiled on us. We had a sunshiny day. It was great weather. They got their games in before the rain, and the Little League is off and running, and they're our future athletes here at this system, so it's great that we can continue to work together.
Terrific. That's it. Thank you. Mrs. Coonan?
I have nothing.
Mrs. Ennis?
I just have one comment that I'd like to make that I as a reminder, I think, in regard to I'm going to go back to NEASC for a moment, that there were some comments made in the Telegram and Gazette that I would like to remind those who have any questions in regard to the NEASC that these funds were appropriated for in October of 2008 at our town meeting. And as far as I've seen in any information I've looked up, it seems like all the districts in this area go through this. So I would also like to thank the members of this committee, the parents and the teachers, and all of the administrators who have put in a tremendous amount of effort into going through this review. I look forward to the outcome. I believe it will be a successful outcome, and I think that no matter which way it's steered, at least we can take something from it and make the high school education a better one as far as we can go. We can put this in a positive light. I think that this committee, it does have a lot of forethought. I don't think we have our heads in the sand, nor do we, I guess the best way to put it is we don't take these kinds of expenditures lightly. So having said that, I hope that all goes well. I look forward to Sunday, and I also, again, through the chair to our superintendent, am going to ask you once again to please extend the hand to the Board of Selectmen to invite them to the meeting. I guess they have all said they will not attend. I'm not quite sure what has happened here, but I am very concerned about the communication, and I would hope that maybe we could extend our hand once again in good faith that whatever is misunderstood or is misconstrued, whatever has happened, I would like that hand extended one more time, and let's see if we can have a little meeting of the minds here with the BOS. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just say a couple of things. I agree on the NEAS. I think we can hopefully ask again, because I think it is in the best interest of the children that we're all there to support them, and actually as a school committee, that's our job, to be the advocates for them. So no matter if it's painful or whatever, we have to do that for them. And so I'm sure with the right information that perhaps we can ask them to come and join us, because it will only show good things to our children how we do this. The safety awareness program this weekend was great. I was able to take that in a little bit. What a great group of kids. Really a great day. Well, just they showcase Oxford very well. So hats off to that. The only thing I do have a question on too, as we're going through this, is the warrant, and I was going to just bring it up for communication amongst us, and Mr. Himmelberger, you can come in if you know anything. Back, I wish I exactly had the date.
March 8th.
March 8th, thank you. Mr. Donis came in with some issues and needs, and we talked about several things that were going on in the maintenance of the building. And he had told us that he had put 2 items that, going through here, that we didn't need to do anything for because they would come under maintenance in the town warrant. One being the safety straps and goals, which is in our gymnasium, which I think is a huge liability if that should ever fall. We use that for graduation, we use that for our R2C pro. That's just a big area that we use with a lot of people. I don't need those basketball goals falling on anybody. We know there's a problem, thus the liability, but we had that there, and the ATC system was another item that he had said that he was putting on for the capital projects. We didn't need to vote on that because it would come under maintenance, was my understanding, and I know we had this dialogue, and I still have the notes and I have everything here. It is my understanding that is not showing up anywhere. I did not see, I think Mrs. Ennis said she watched, I did watch Mr. Zaneski do the report with everyone explaining all of the items, but I think it has disappeared. I think we need to talk about that because it was my impression that it was coming up. Mr. Peterson?
I don't know if it's disappeared. Those items are normally capital expenditures, which are dealt with in the fall meeting, not at the main budget, and those are usually capital expenses asked for
Right.
later in the year.
Right, and
I'm
I
not saying he's not doing them and isn't going to do it under his budget or need the money, but I would believe that those would be under the capital expenditures for the semi-annual meeting.
right, and that's just the clarity I'm trying to get,
That's
is
fine.
that when he said they would be on it wasn't on this warrant he was speaking of. He was speaking of the October one. I just
Believe
want to
so.
clarify that because we did have that listed. Yes, Mr. Himmelberger? Just
I
clarify.
would concur with Mr. Peterson. Speaking with the town manager late this afternoon, he indicated that that would be the plan for the fall town meeting.
Okay, so those items that Mr. Donis came in, not necessarily when he said they'll be on the warrant, meant this warrant, he meant the one
Correct.
coming in. That's all, just clarity, I think
But
that's.
discussion aside, we can't forget those items and continue to monitor them.
Exactly, and I think that's exactly what I'm trying to say, is that
Right.
they're there and we just need to do them. I have nothing else. I will open the floor. And since there's no one here for questions or comments, I will close the floor. Our next meeting date is May 10th. I did have a request for executive session. I do not. Mr. Laporte could not be here tonight, so we will put that on our next meeting. And I will call for a motion to adjourn.
1 minute.
Oh, Mrs. Ennis, I'm very sorry.
That's okay. What time would we meet on the 5th?
Oh, the 5th. What do we post? Do you
I
remember?
believe the
Sorry.
meeting is posted for 6:30.
Thank you.
Thank you. 6:30 in the library?
Yes.
Library, please.
Can I go to that?
No, you don't. You can miss that one.
Sure,
Thank you.
Should come to the
Oh,
town,
yeah, yeah.
you should come to the town meeting. It's
Yeah, they-
exciting.
Yes, 6:30 then on the 5th, please. Thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
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 Yes, that's 4 affirmative, 1 absent. We are adjourned.